Since Spacies.
Guess what, don't you know? It's the Since Spacies Show. Guess what, don't you know? It's the Since Spacies Show. Guess what, don't you know? It's the Since Spacies Show. Guess what, don't you know? It's the Since Spacies Show. Guess what, don't you know? It's the Since Spacies Show.
Welcome to episode number 18.
Guess what, don't you know? It's the Since Spacies Show. Guess what, don't you know? It's the Since Spacies Show.
Guest starring Sega Master Tim, the Top Loader, and Lucas from the Aussie Gamers Experience.
It's the Since Spacies Show, everybody!
G'day invaders, welcome to Since Spacies, and this is episode number 18 of the Since Spacies Show. How egotistical am I to have a show named after me? But it used to be called, what was it before? Yes, Another Bloody Gaming Podcast, which was a bit of a mouthful, so this is just easier to say. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to everyone here that's decided to hop on in, starting with Lucas. How you doing?
Very good, thank you. Thanks a lot for having me again.
And Sega Master Tim, or Sega.
Sega. Hello.
And last of all, NES version 2.0 himself, the Top Loader. How you doing?
Good, and once again, last but certainly not least.
And he's saying once again because this is the second take. We went for about 5 minutes. Yeah, we went for about 5 minutes before we realised that the audio wasn't working, but hopefully now you guys can hear us. And we've also got G to the next level hidden in the chat there, and Uncle Chunt is in on the chat as well. Yay!
Hello.
So just before we kick on, I do need to say a huge thank you to everyone that reached out to me recently with my heart attack that I just had just 2 weeks ago. Isn't that amazing? I have a heart attack 2 weeks ago, and then here I am back again doing this. So that's what modern science is about. But I had 1,000 people respond to that tweet that I put out, and 500 comments. And I just have to say thank you. I couldn't get to everyone, obviously, with just so many comments. But a huge thank you to everyone. My TV has gone off in the background. Don't you hate that? When you try to have...
It's going off for you today, isn't it? The visuals and the audio.
You can't do like a screensaver mode with the Switch. There we go. Back again. All right, anyway. Everyone here has been on the show in some shape or form in the past, but I'm going to start with Lucas. Lucas, what game have you been... Sorry, got to get you to do this again. What game have you been playing lately? Here we go.
That's all right. I feel like it was a bit of a rehearsal before. So I've been playing a game called Carrion, which is by Devolver Digital, and this game is basically a pixel art 2D scroller game, and it actually takes you back a little bit to the old school games where, you know, it was like per screen, where
yes,
you would like go off the screen and then into a new one.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, and you play. It's a little bit like of a role reversal where you are actually the monster versus the humans. So you're this big bloody blob of a monster.
Bloody blob.
When you eat the humans, you will actually grow physically in size, which is your health. So if you get injured, you will actually shrink in size to a point where you'll die. But the idea of the game is to escape captivity because the humans have captured you. They're doing studies on you, experiments, and yeah, you
all that good stuff.
This experimental bunker. So really cool game. It only came out like about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago.
Steam?
I absolutely love it. It is available on Steam. It is available on the Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, everywhere.
And what's it called again? Just one more time.
Carrion with a C. Carrion.
Okay, I might have to check that out later. Sega Master Tim, what's been keeping you busy? Besides COVID.
Nothing's been keeping him busy. He's locked in.
I'll put this back on again. As I mentioned in the first take, I've been playing RC Pro-Am and started playing again a few days ago, Tapper on the main cabinet. Yeah, so just some old classics.
So that game that was peddling alcohol to kids.
Yes, but it could be root beer. So, yeah, but yeah, just been playing those games when I've got the time.
Do you have the time?
Not really.
No.
Surely you have time right now. Surely you have time
I
right now.
don't have time to play role-playing games or open worlds or anything like that. So that's the beauty of having a main cabinet, because I've got everything in there. It's all set up. Can have a quick game and then get out again and then prepare dinner and then do some more work. But I've got some time today, so it's all good. I've got to pick up a car this Arvo. Yay!
You got to pick up what, sorry?
A car.
Oh, you're still going with that? Okay. I thought that was all dealt with.
No. So all the paperwork's done. We've just got to pick it up this Arvo.
So what are we getting? A Maserati? What?
Limbo.
It's a little bit sad. I had a Lancer Rally Art, so it was a detuned Evo, and the transmission's going on it, and it's costing $17,000 to replace the transmission. So it'd be fine to get a new car. Yeah, I'm not kidding. $17,000 bloody dollars. So we thought we'll just get a new car, and we're getting something a little bit more practical. So we're getting an MG3. So I'm going from 4-cylinder turbo all-wheel drive to a 3-cylinder front-wheel drive. So yeah.
I think you'll manage. But yeah, you had. I did like your car. That was a bit sad to see that demise.
Here's the new keys to your car, and I'll take your genitals, please. Thank you.
They come as a pair, right?
And Top Loader,
Yes.
what are you playing lately? What's been keeping you?
Well, this is my first take, so I don't get a second chance at this. So I better make sure it's a good one. I recently been playing Tropical Freeze with my son, and we've been going through the old Donkey. It's an actual old Wii game, but I re-released on the Switch a couple of years ago. So we're actually near the end of that game, and we've been playing that for the last few weeks. It's actually a decently hard game. My son's getting pretty good at it, but I've actually worked out why it's a hard game. It's because they've changed the controls from the old school way of playing, which is where you hold the run button, which did everything. It did the ground pound, it threw the barrels, it grabbed onto things. But with the new Tropical Freeze, you've got different buttons for like the barrel roll and ground pound. So it's got two different buttons, whereas the Super Nintendo versions, you just had one button and it did pretty much everything. I always thought that was a much simpler way of doing it, a much easier way of doing it. And I think that's why the game's harder than it should be. I wish they went back to the old style, just having just the one button to push for
that's
everything.
The problem with video games these days. Too many buttons. You agree, Brian?
Oh, he agrees.
He's having a dig at me. I don't know. He said, yeah, The Last of Us. I was complaining that The Last of Us controls didn't gel with me, and that's because it's got more than one button. Good one, Lucas. You're a comedic genius.
They go to all these different strands of the buttons when all they need is just one button. I mean, I think they have too many buttons because they just want to overdo it. If they just had the simpler concept of just a few less buttons, I think it'd be much more enjoyable.
Just a quick question. Super Mario Brothers. Did you ever play a version of Super Mario Brothers where they swap the buttons around? It just is goofy. Because it's you hold down... because the A/B switched around on the NES controller, isn't it?
It's BA, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so you hold B down to get your to sprint, and I just rolled a thumb over to jump.
Your thumb.
Yeah. But then they will every now and again will have a version of it where they'll flip the buttons around. You're like,
that's
dude, what's this all about?
That's not good at all.
When you play with the emulators, they always get the buttons wrong. I mean, you always got to try and just go with what we've got. You can change it, but sometimes depends on which one you're playing, which clone or emulator you're playing. You can't actually change the layout of the buttons, which is annoying. But you work it out like all games.
And I'm just going to take a quick moment to say g'day to the people in the chat. The people we've got chatting away there is Uncle Chunt, who I've had to actually go in and allow that name to go through because the mod of it was thinking it was something else. Yeah.
What else could that mean?
I'm not sure. And G to the next level. And Uncle Chunt saying, allow me. I can hear his voice saying it. Allow me.
Let me in by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
All right, let's get into these questions. So, a huge thank you to everyone that did send in questions. We have got our first one from, of course, Game Boy Bryant. I think we're just going to have to make him the first question every single episode from now on. Game Boy Bryant, what have you got for us?
We're on the way to a new generation of consoles. And the graphics really don't seem much different from the current ones, at least for the moment anyway. Graphics don't really have that big leap that they used to have. So this will be half of it. Do you think we're just about to hit the ceiling of graphics where this is probably as good as they're going to get, and when was the biggest or last great leap from console to console? Because the leaps have been getting smaller and a lot more scarce. I know those Super Nintendo, the PlayStation 2, those are good examples of it. Or in your case, Dreamcast, but they were part of the same generation. We know your answer to that question. Because really, I think graphics are as good as they're going to get. Spacies, and I wait to hear your guys' answers, because it looks like we're just about to hit the roof of how good graphics can get without the consoles and PCs melting. Take care.
Thank you, Game Boy Bryant. Yeah, we were just saying that we're really impressed with the lighting on that question there, Game Boy Bryant. And as we were saying that, Goffioso has just kicked in and said the same thing. See, I told you, the lighting before was a problem. And by you listening and changing that has fixed the problem. Have we reached a limit with graphics? Like, I personally don't think so, because I remember having this argument before when we went 3D. Everyone was like, "Oh wow, it can't get any better than this." When it was
how realistic do you want to get with these graphics? How real do you want to get? Like, they're looking pretty good. I'm sure they are going to get better, but how much more real do you need a person to look?
Well, it depends on what game you're playing. If you're playing something like beach volleyball.
Uncle Chunt.
Uncle Chunt's favourite. I want to see the goosebumps. We'll go with you, Lucas. What have you got a take on this, or?
All right. Well, have we hit the ceiling? Is it going to get any better? Absolutely. We are nowhere near the ceiling. And
No.
Look, I actually don't think there is a metaphorical ceiling, so to speak. I think the sky is the limit, and we are only limited by our imaginations. We've seen some fantastic graphics come through over the years, and there have been some massive graphical leaps from generation to generation. I think probably one of the most impressive ones was probably PS2 to PS3, or vice versa with the different consoles. But that was a very massive and obvious jump from graphical fidelity. However, I think that it will slow down. We will see more slight changes when we go from generation to generation, but I do believe that it will continue to get more impressive as we go on. I don't believe there is a ceiling, because there will always be some sort of innovation in our electronics. The components will get smaller and smaller, closer together, which makes them faster. We'll also find alternate ways to do the same thing, which will then increase capacity for artists to put forward everything they've got. And I think it'll only get better and better and better. Like, you look at children today, they can probably play games better than all of us put together. And they're the people in the future that will be making the technology which goes into making video games. And they're going to be far better than the people doing it right now. So I think, yes, absolutely, they will get better. And the ceiling, I don't think it exists.
Sega Master Tim.
I think like Lucas, there's going to be a lull, but the limitations can only be held back by affordability. Every time there's a new generation of console coming out, the issue you have is it's got to be cost effective as well and appealing to the consumer. So if you could seriously bring out a console today and make it even 10 times better graphically wise, but it's just not affordable. So they've got to find that niche. Okay, let's bring out a console. We're not going to make money from it, but we don't want to lose too much money from it. And look, there's definitely an issue with chips at the moment that are hitting a limit at the moment. But this is why there's such a big drive for what is it? What's that type of? I can't think of the name of it now.
Ray tracing.
Quantum computing. They're trying to unlock.
Oh yeah.
So once you see, I mean, we don't know what quantum computing can do. People can already see benefits from it once we start learning how to use it and get it into a more compact, more accessible way. So, like you see with those old pictures from decades ago, where a computer with 1 kilobyte of memory took up the size of a room. It's the same thing with quantum mechanics at the moment, quantum computing. So, yeah, we're not at a limit, but there's definitely a lull, and the only thing that's holding us back is cost. Okay, it's got to be appealing enough. Yeah, but it's a good question, bloody good question.
And top loader.
Well, I'm going to go a little bit different on this question because we're getting to a point where the graphics are so good. I'm actually finding myself going back a lot to like indie games. I actually download a lot of indie games, but the quality in those games are actually getting better as well. Like games like The Messenger, things like that. Shovel Knight, for example. They look old, but they actually look really good old games. So that's a different type of quality. So there's all different type of qualities that you can get. Yes, we're at a graphical peak now, but it's going to keep going up and up. But those indie games, I'm actually finding myself downloading a lot of those 16-bit, 8-bit games that are really refined 16 and 8-bit games, much better than the NES games quality-wise now. So that's what I'm excited about, is how good the indie games are getting now.
Yeah, well, that's like that Carrion that I was talking about. That is a pixel art game, which kind of looks like your old school 16-bit games, but plays so brilliantly compared to what they did back then. I agree with you, man. It's cool.
Games that are really pushing the envelope, as they always say, will continue to come out. There's always going to be your AAA titles, but they're getting more and more expensive to push out the door. But I think
Do you find it strange that the prices are very similar to what we were playing back in the 90s? Like, I was paying $100 for a Super NES game, and I wouldn't have think it would take that many people compared to like a Grand Theft Auto 5 to make. But Grand Theft Auto came out with like $120 when it first came out, but it dropped.
And speaking of dropping,
So,
he
yeah, we're
dropped. Oh
paying
no!
for the cartridges, which were expensive, but
No, keep going. We can hear you. We can hear you. Keep going. Sorry.
yeah. So the Super Nintendo games, the development team surely were a lot smaller than what used for like a Grand Theft Auto game now. I think we're paying for the cartridges, which inflated the prices back then. But now, like, I'm surprised the prices aren't astronomical compared to what they were back then. Like,
Yeah, I think
inflation, right? Inflation.
Yeah, I think that they're pushing bigger numbers though now when it comes to sales of these games compared to when we
true.
were looking at
that's true too.
Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. That's
But
another
still, there's a
topic.
lot of
That's another
people working on
topic.
those games.
Yeah, I think that's another subject altogether when it comes to pricing in video games. But I was going to say that I don't want to see a day where I'm not impressed by a game that comes out and makes me go, holy crap, this looks so damn awesome. A game that I saw, and this is the first time I've been excited for a release, and not from a gameplay point of view, because it's as boring as batshit, but the graphics look so damn good, and that is Flight Simulator. Have you guys seen
Oh yeah.
how photorealistic that game looks?
Oh, it looks amazing. I have no interest in aeroplanes, but I will 100% be playing that on launch day for no other reason as to just check out how good it looks.
But the latest preview showed Sydney Harbour, but the bridge is missing. What the hell? And someone responded to my tweet about that, saying that maybe it's a copyright infringement thing. But ironically, the Opera House is an item that you cannot take a photo of by itself. You need permission but it was there.
You're joking,
And
really?
Uluru is the other item in Australia that you're not allowed to take photos of and use for commercial purposes without permission. They're the only two items.
I actually didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's just one of those little weird did you know facts. All right, so Game Boy Brian, I hope we did answer your question somewhat there. And thanks once again to Game Boy Brian. He is one guy that always sends in a couple of questions in advance, so that I've got now a few questions lined up for episode 19 already. And that brings me to the point. Don't wait for the episode to come up before sending in questions. Just send them in. I will put them in the folder, and I will make sure that I will get around to using them at some point down the line. The next question comes from Super Jude. And, all right, I kind of cheated with this. This question got used on the last episode, but I thought I will recycle it. This is the first and only time I've done this. I will recycle it for this episode for a particular person that's in on this chat right now. So, Super Jude, what have you got for us?
Hello everyone. I'm here today with a question for you about Nintendo. I brought some amiibo props to lead into my question about Super Mario Bros. 3, one of my favorite games. So, Brian, my question to you, and to anyone else on a panel, if there's a panel, what's your favorite way to play this game? Do you use the whistles right away and warp to the big world, or all the way to World 8? Or do you enjoy every level and get lots of items and coins and points? Please let me know. Have a great day.
Thank you. I was just making a mad dash there for props. Speaking of props, here it is, Super Mario Bros. 3. It's not a game that I've had much experience with, and I'm not one of those people that got wrapped up in it on its initial launch. I didn't see it as being the big breakthrough that it is. I've later changed my stance on that, but at the time I wasn't impressed with it. Super Mario Bros. On the Super Nintendo, however, I love the crap out of that game. That's my Super Mario Bros. Game. But I recycled this question for you, Top Loader, because I know that how much you love this game. So do you play this game vanilla, just start to end, or do you jump around and use all this warps,
There's two
etc.?
ways to play this game. There's two ways to play this game. You got the original NES and you got the Super Mario All-Stars version. I play it both ways.
That's
Okay,
not
so
the question.
version of...
That's not the
Okay,
question.
but I'm going to tell you this is my answer that I'm given, okay? So I'm going to go through how I
This is
play
the
it
question
on the
that wasn't asked. Okay.
This is how I'm going to play it on the NES. So when you go to World 1, 2, now I play it straight from start to finish because there's no save points. You can use the whistles to skip ahead, but I like to play it from start to finish. The reason being is because on the second level on the first world, you can actually do 100 lives trick. It's in the game with there's a pipe where the little Goombas come out and you keep hitting them. You float up with your leaf and you keep hitting them down. So you can get it takes about 20 minutes to do, and you can not that long. It's not that long.
Only
and you
20
eventually
minutes.
get 99 lives.
Oh wow.
So you've got, because the problem with Super Mario Bros. 3 is that it doesn't really give you a whole lot of lives, so that's a really great way of actually getting a decent amount of lives to get you through the first few worlds. And then after the first few worlds, there's a few more levels that give you a whole stack of lives like this. There's a level where you can get a whole lot of coins where you keep repeating the level where you keep building up your lives. So I start from start to finish, and every couple of worlds, I do this trick where I just up my lives a bit, all the way until I play it until the very end of World 8, which is my favorite world of any Mario game ever, because that last World 8, the tanks and all that flying at you, is the best set of levels I've ever played in any Mario game.
Okay.
You want,
Does anyone else have a dog in this fight?
if you don't, I can tell you how I do it on All Stars.
No. Do it. Sega Master Tim. Well,
I've probably played it once in the past 20, 30 odd years. I can't, sorry, Jude, I can't give you an opinion on that, but what you're doing, Tops, is cheesy.
It's not cheating.
It is
And I
cheating.
right away, I will point out I can actually finish it vanilla, as Spacies says too, without doing the 100 lives trick. I can actually do it. I can actually do it normal too. But I like to play it that way because it's just more enjoyable doing it like that.
I find it kind of rich, Tim, that you would have the high grounds moral stance when it comes to cheating, considering your first job was handing out cheats on a hotline with me.
It's not cheating if it's in the game. If it's in the game, it's not cheating. I'm not putting in a code.
But I've always had the position, and I've always said this, is that even though when I got the big box of cheats and all that, and even though I work for Sega, I use cheats more as a curiosity than actually beating the game.
Yeah.
So
cool story,
so
bro.
I never used cheats. It's just like, that's what I did. I never cheated. Because you had to play the game stuff.
I can do it that way too. It's just I find it more enjoyable. I can do it that way as well. But
I'm waiting for Lucas to chime in. Have you got anything to say on this?
I do actually. I'm quite partial to a good old cheat. Cheating in video games
It's not a cheat. It's not a cheat.
Is absolutely fun and can breathe good, new life into a game. So I love cheating. However, but to answer the question from Super Jude, actually before I wanted to answer, I wanted to suggest a weird anomaly in Super Jude's video. I don't know if anybody else picked it up, but when she recorded that video, she was not carrying a cup of tea. Or coffee.
Oh yeah, because that's her usual thing that she does on Twitter.
Where's the cuppa?
I'll make it up for her. There we go. Let's all do it for her. Cup.
To answer her question, when I played Super Mario Brothers 3, my only aim in that game is to get the Tanuki suit, get the power meter all the way up, and fly to the end of the level. That's me, done and dusted. Every single time I'm just like, where's the leaf? Where's the leaf?
You use the P cloud, don't you? At the end, you use the P cloud at the end, don't you?
No.
You know the P cloud where you float through the levels. You use that at the last on the world.
No, I don't even know how to get that. I just know about the Tanuki suit with the leaf, and I just fly as much as I can because that game's hard. And I didn't know about your cheesing method of getting 100 lives.
Can I ask?
It's not cheesy. It's in the game.
Top loader. I got a question for you. What is your favorite version of that game? Because you can get multiple different emulations and releases. I know what mine is, but I want to hear yours first.
Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo because you can save for a start, right? And you can also backtrack. So when you start the game up again from the save, you can actually go back to World 1 or 2 without using any whistles or anything like that. And it keeps your amount of lives. So if you want to go back and refill your lives, you can go back to World 1 and get your lives built up again, reset the game, then go back to where you saved it from. Say World 4, for example.
So he likes the game where you can cheat better.
It's not cheating. It's not cheating. Okay, in Super Mario World, when you go to a top secret area and you keep getting the lives over and over again, is that cheating? It's part of the game. It's called top secret area.
I've got a question for you, Top Loader. In Doom, the original Doom, you could type in IDKFA.
Yeah, you used to get all the guns.
Yep.
God mode.
Is that cheating?
God mode.
That's God mode. Is that cheating?
Hell yeah.
Of course it is, but it's in the game.
Yeah, but that's different. This is a gameplay way of doing it. That's actually typing in something. That's like putting in a cheat code.
Listen to this guy's got an excuse for everything.
That's what gamers call cheesy. Using the mechanics. It's a form of cheating.
I don't know. If you get a lot of lives in Super Mario 3, is that cheating? If you actually just keep playing the game without dying, is that cheating? Because you're building up your lives for each level. That's doing exactly the same thing.
No, that's not the same thing. You are and you noticed you're just being a dick. I'm just going to call you out. I'm just going to say
one more. Is it cheating in Alex Kid when you push start and up to restart the level? And you pay $400?
Oh, yeah.
You mean to continue? Well, it is kind of cheating, but they built that in.
And it's in the instruction
manual. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
In the
not
instruction
cheating.
manual.
That's
So-
clearly there.
Is that cheating too?
You cheated the game. You didn't achieve anything. You didn't succeed. What's that troll? That meme.
I also say, but I've also finished the game without doing that trick as well.
Okay,
I actually found
alright.
that trick out after the first time I beat the game.
My original question to you about which is the best version of Super Mario Bros. 3, I think is
Super Mario
the
Bros. Yeah.
no, it's the re-release on the Game Boy Advance, but on the Wii U because they give you all the
Extra
codes for
levels,
the
that's
extra
on the
levels on the cards. They give it. They just give it to you. So that's the best version of the game. But I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them re-release Super Mario Bros. 3 on the Switch with modern graphics. That would really.
You mean like 3D rendering modern graphics or like sprite
Some-
like break?
No, I don't want them to do the new Super Mario Bros. Treatment because I'm not really
It looks
a
generic.
fan of. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those. That looks mobile phone-ish. I would
Somebody probably
Even
made
a
it
name.
on Mario Maker.
yeah, possibly.
You know what? Okay, have you played Mario Maker 2? Because they've got a whole heap of levels on there that are Super Mario 3 inspired, Super Mario World inspired. If you want new Super Mario World 3, Super Mario Bros. 3 levels, play Mario Maker 2, the story mode. It's got a whole heap of new levels from Super Mario World, Super Mario 1, 3D Mario World, all into one section. It's really, really fun playthrough if you want to do it that way.
So, if anyone was wondering, Top Loader just repeated exactly what I said, but it took about 3 times as long.
What did you say, mate? I didn't hear you say it.
If it's any consolation to you, Toppy, Uncle Chunt has just put into the chat that he's on your side. I don't know why, but he is. So there you go. You got an ally there. I don't know why.
Chunt's always on my
Chunt,
side
you're dead to
secretly,
me.
and now I-
All right, we're going to move on. That was a good recycle. That was a good use of a recycle question, I think, if I don't mind saying so myself. The next one is from Wacko Jacko. What have you got for us, Mr. Jacko or Wacko? No, is it Jacko? Wacko Jacko. Anyway, here we go.
Jacko.
Spacies Show, it's Wacko Jacko here. My question's a bit of a downer, but it's gaming related. When have you had something stolen? Something gaming related stolen? I had a 3DS and a copy of the Smash game and Pokemon Moon on it. Stolen from when I was on the train. So sad.
Top Loader was just saying he likes your microphone there, Wacko. What did you say
Star
to...
Wars truth serum.
Hey?
Yeah, Star Wars truth, the truth needle from
I had
Star Wars.
Top Loader, you don't have to get closer to the microphone. If anybody doesn't, you
Oh,
don't.
okay.
We can hear you loud and
Okay.
clear.
Is this alright?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I remember when he first appeared. Every time he answered a question, he was right like this. Look, Cameron's another one that does that. He leans in. I had Cameron sitting here, and he would be like leaning across me to get to the mic. Yeah. I'm gonna answer this one. I've been pretty lucky. I haven't had much stolen, except no, hang on, correct that. I did have a pretty bad thing that was stolen. That was a Game Gear with the TV tuner, with all the games, Master System adapter, and a unique Game Gear carry case. That all went in one foul swoop. So yeah. And I've had 2 other things stolen. That was a copy of Golden Axe, the Japanese version on the Mega Drive, and Alex Kidd in Enchanted Castle. Why would you steal that? Anyway. So, Top Loader, what have you had nicked off?
Well, it's sort of stolen, if that makes sense. Because
Sort of. You've always got a weird take.
Does that count?
No.
No.
It doesn't.
Here we go.
Well, it does.
It's interesting.
So,
Go.
in the era from when we're going from the PS1 to the PS2, I wasn't really worried about my PS1 games that much. I was more focused on getting a PS2. So a guy that I knew for a long time well, not a long time, a decent amount of time. I knew him pretty well. He borrowed my PS1 games, and he just never returned them. That's the closest thing I have to anything getting stolen. That's
No, hang on. That is theft.
Well,
That is theft.
that is theft. Yeah, you never
Someone
get it back.
taking something and they're not giving it back, taking something and not giving it back is theft.
Well,
so that's not sort of theft. That is theft.
Yeah. At the time,
Jesus
I wasn't
Christ.
At the time, I wasn't that worried because I was actually more focused on the PS2 because I wasn't. Oh, even though I was keeping all my games, I actually wasn't that worried about keeping my PS1 games for whatever reason because, like I said, I was focused on the PS2. So I didn't really bother me that much. It bothers me now because I'm gonna have to I'm actually rebuying all the ones that I lent to him. So it bothers me more.
How many are we
now than it
talking?
did then. Sorry.
How many?
Oh, at least eight. Yeah, at least 8. I got half them left. So I had about 16 games. I gave him about 8 of
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Any
games.
yeah, I was just going to say Final Fantasy 7 alone would be worth quite a bit, so that's going to be you'll be lucky to get a platinum version of that instead.
Yeah, I know. And I also had a Invo Mortal Kombat trilogy. I don't really like that much. I had actually a really nice box for it. It's like I've never, even on eBay, I've never seen the same box again for it. And I'm so spewed on.
Uncle Chunt is offering his services. He's saying name and shame because I think Uncle Chunt wants to go wreck his kneecaps for you.
His first name was Michael, though.
Michael, okay, that's a start. All right.
Yeah.
Postcode. Where does his children go to school? No.
I don't. He's actually not in. I tried to see if he's on Facebook. I can't find him, so I think he
All
might.
right, well, get back to us on that one, okay? I think Uncle Chunt can take care of him for you. Tim, have you had anything knocked off, stolen?
Yes. Yeah, a little bit like Tops, but I had a TRS-80, and I still think it's a crap unit. Anyway, so I had this TRS-80, and I had a mate. He said, "Oh, look, I can upgrade it for you." I'm going, okay, and we're talking about what is it, 8 to 16k, something like that. So nothing big. So I'm young, dumb, and stupid. So I go, oh yeah, there you go. So said, I'll have it ready for you for 2 weeks. 2 weeks went by. Where is it? Oh yeah, it's just a few technical difficulties. So weeks turned to months. Found out that the mongrel sold off my own computer.
Oh God!
He sold it off. So,
well, he upgraded it for you.
And here, I did get the upgrade because I told Dad, and I didn't know how to handle a situation like this being young.
Yeah.
So my dad goes around to his parents and says, and yeah, no worries. So he paid back the money, plus Dad put a bit of mail on the story and got an extra $200 on top of what it was actually worth. So we sold it back and made a profit. Yeah, so that's what he did.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, a bit of justice. Okay. Before I get to Lucas, Emerald Rangers has kicked in with a comment, and I had respect for Emerald Rangers, but now my respect for him has just dropped. His comment: I've accidentally stolen. I like that. I've accidentally stolen someone's copy of Pokemon Ruby for the GBA. I borrowed it so I could help them unlock the secret areas. I ended up moving to Queensland and took the game by accident. I did offer to send it back, but he just let me have the game as a gift. How convenient for you. Lucas, what have you had nicked?
Borrowed,
yeah.
You know what? When I heard this question, I was thinking, I actually think I've told this story before on the Since Spacies Show. I don't know. I'll start telling it and let me know if it rings any bells.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the questions from your show, but somehow the topic came up. And I brought up a story of when I was back in primary school. And I probably shouldn't have been doing this, but I was taking my Game Boy, my original grey big Game Boy, to school. And I had the game Super Mario Land on that one. And it went missing. and I found out that one of my friends had actually stolen it and taken it home. And it got to the point where he brought it into school and was playing it on his game. And I actually noticed that he had that, but I knew he didn't have it prior to mine going missing. And there was a pink mark that I saw on the back of the game. The principal took it off us. I had to go in there and identify it. And I said, oh, there's a pink mark on the back. It looked like red pen or something like that. And I eventually got the game back. And I think I actually did name and shame this guy because I figured with the statute of limitations, technically there's no action that can be taken today considering we were probably 8 years older. But I will never forget you, Mark Maroon. And if I ever see you, again, I will tell you of this story and how it scarred me for life. I was so upset when that Super Mario Land was like magic.
Do you go into Bunnings quoting statues from the 1948 Geneva conference, or have you seen that Karen from Bunnings?
Yes.
Going in quoting 1948.
How are you likening me to it?
Because you mentioned that you're getting all technical and legal on us just then by saying, "Oh, I don't think I could get into any."
I like the legal bit.
Yeah.
I like know what you're saying. No one's gonna know what the Karen from Bunnings means outside Australia.
All right, so we're gonna move on, but I think we've all had a brush with someone being a little bit, I don't know, emerald rangy. Stealing your stuff. The next one is from my print didn't work properly. Dave from Zlogan Motto. I think that's it. Dave, what have you got for us? What's that question number 4? Here we go.
Hey Spaces crew, this is Dave from Zlogan Motto checking in. My question for you this week is, what game from the past are you the most annoyed that you can't play right now on a home console, and you may never will be able to? This could be something like the original version of Moonwalker, which of course never got released because the home version is way different, or maybe Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, or the Spider-Man game that Sega put out there on the System 32. Or maybe it's even just something like the original version of Tecmo Bowl, which, of course, yeah, it's out there, but it doesn't have the original license and the original NFL teams in it. So, anyway, that's it. Hope you guys have a good show.
Sorry. I'm gonna keep telling these guys, all right, shush, stop it. So a game that's caught, I think the shortcut way of asking that question is a game that's caught in licensing hell. I think immediately anything to do with sporting. So, for example, I would love to see NHL 94 being given a re-release, because that's just like one of the best versions of that game. But all those players that were named in that original version of the game have to give their permission, and that's a lot of players. There's bound to be one player that went like, no, I'm not giving you permission. So has anyone else got an example of a game that is Scott Pilgrim perhaps?
Konami games like Ninja Turtles and like the original Simpsons arcade games, they never port them because you can't get the TMNT rights, and they even changed it when they did actually port it for briefly a period on one of the battle. I can't remember which game it was on the PS2. They actually put it in that game, and they changed the music on some of the levels. And it's like, so it's not actually the same game. They actually ported over. They changed a little bit as well, which is really annoying. So the Simpsons arcade game, they did re-port that onto the Apple iPod for a brief period of time, and I downloaded it, and then they took it off almost like a month later. It's still on my old iPod Touch, and I've never seen it anywhere else again. And it was actually like a remastered arcade game of the TMNT, of the Simpsons arcade game, and it was really good. And I can't find it anywhere else, and it really annoys me to this day. But I've still got it on my old iPod, which is okay, but that one's dying.
Lucas?
Well, look, I didn't really, I didn't realize the second half of this question was about licensing issues. So the only thing that I could think of is a game that I couldn't play that was on an old generation that hasn't been brought forward is a game called Road Avenger. And well, look, I don't know, maybe that's a licensing issue because there was, I think there was licensed.
I think it's more of a Konami. I think it's more of a Konami thing. Just Konami.
Probably. But I have tried. I have tried to find a playable copy that I might be able to get my hands on, but I can't get that game, and I really want to play that game again because I never finished it as a kid.
But you didn't finish it? Oh, okay.
No, it was hard for me anyway.
It is a pretty tricky game, yeah. But
yeah, sorry, just quickly for those that don't know, it was like a cartoon. You basically played a cartoon that had directional prompts. So you would like accelerate, you would brake.
It's Dragon's Lair with cars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Dragon's Lair meets Mad Max.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Excellent description.
Right? Did you say right? Wasn't that on the Mega CD?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was originally an arcade game, so it had like a laser disc that was running it, and they had to downgrade the graphics for the Mega CD. But that intro, the music, is just and Toshiaki and Gaming Muso did a version of it, but Toshiaki did a version as well.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Toshiaki did the former intro for the Since Spacies channel, and that's Musha Release, which is like my favorite Mega Drive game of all time. And he did a cover version of it, and it was actually pretty damn cool.
He always tags us and stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah,
tags us and stuff.
yeah, and some of the stuff he tags us like, what is this about? Tim?
No idea.
I think the one game, simply because of the soundtrack or soundtracks, is Need for Speed Underground 2, probably the best soundtrack for any game I've ever played, because there's so many different artists of that. They can't reproduce a new version of that game using the same music. So that's the only thing I can put close to. Yeah.
Is it an issue for them to re-release a game with different songs? Would that be an issue for you guys?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Like if that was the only way that they could release it, then go for it.
I really like the song on there. It would be an issue for sure. But
well, we've got this issue going at the moment with Sonic 3, that they won't want to re-release Sonic 3 because of this association with Michael Jackson. So screw the original music, and because there is an alternative soundtrack to that game that did get released on PC, just give us that version. I'm pretty sure people will get over the fact that the soundtrack's a little bit different, just if it means getting to play the game.
But one of the classic games from the PS1 era is the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, and they're remaking those, but it's just going to be a different soundtrack. They will have some of the original tracks, but some will be missing with other songs in its place. And I think if you loved the game enough, that shouldn't be a big issue. I mean, it's probably a little bit disappointing.
There's a big firm belief with this game that it's a great game, but the music, the soundtrack, makes it up even more. And I've seen a lot of things on Reddit about it, where people just love the game and just wish that they could bring it out with the original soundtrack, because it is a complete list of songs that it's just
Well, I'll give you one example that's not video game related, but it is on a very similar level, where they released Dragon Ball Z dub, and there's a big fan community who loves the original music but hates the new music that they've added to the older series. You know what I mean? It's very similar, and they cannot accept the newer version of it, even though I can watch both. I actually, in that respect, I can watch both. But these people, they've got this big affinity for the old way that Dragon Ball Z music was. They just cannot accept the new soundtrack from the dub, basically.
I reckon you could watch both of them at the same time.
2 screens. One for each ear. One for each ear.
I've just got to interrupt. We've got a new subscriber. Emerald Rangers has kicked in with a subscription. Thank you very much for that. Where's my sound? See, now you got me hunting around for my sound effects. There we go. Right, sorry, back on track. One game that I was going to say that falls into this category is Snatcher. It's not for licensing. It's just because Konami hate Kojima. They just can't stand the guy for some reason now. And I would love to know what actually happened in the background between Konami and Kojima. One day I think we'll find out.
I'm pretty sure there's contracts in place saying nobody can say anything
for the next amount of years. Yeah. But I think it will come out in the wash one day. But Snatcher, which is a really important gaming in a lot of ways. It will just never come to light on modern consoles in any way, shape, or form. Just out of spite. That's it. There's no other reason. It's just crazy. And G to the Next Level has just kicked in. He said, but you know Sonic fans though, Brian, I've heard the other Sonic 3 soundtrack. It's great. So what he's saying there basically is that Sonic fans, you can't please them all. Full stop. They just they'll always find something to complain about. Right, we got that next one from Asher. And thanks for that, Dave, for that question, by the way. But we've got the next one from Asher, who's new to the channel. Asher, what have you got for us? I'm sorry if I get myself sorted out here. Question number 5, here we go.
Boy, Since Spacies, it's Asher here from London in the UK. Greetings from halfway around the world. As an avid gamer like yourself, I've played games for most of my life, and the first time that I found out that they could be worth considerable money was when I accidentally sold Skies of Arcadia Legends and Conker's Bad Fur Day on an auction site, and they went for way more than the £1 reserve that I put on there. When's the first time that you realised that games could be a collectible or even an investment asset?
Thank you there, Asher. For that one, I have an answer, but I think we'll go with Sega Master Tim. Do you have a moment where the penny dropped that, oh my god, gaming is getting expensive? Retro gaming in particular.
Yeah, I think it was when I went to my first game market, which was only about 3-4 years ago, and I'm there. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. What do you want for that? What? How can it be worth $120? It's like God, years old. And then as I started investigating more, I didn't realize certain games were rare. But you know, you and me, Brian, we're seeing Ben. We had 2 whole cupboards full of these games, and we're like,
what was that we call it? The cupboard of joy.
It's like, oh, Golden Axe Warrior, yeah, whatever. You know, it's just, I think, yeah, it was when I went to a market, and then I thought something's not right here. But sure enough, when I investigated more, I could not believe just the values for some of these games and the stories why they were so valuable. So yeah, it was about 3-4 years ago for me.
Lucas?
Well, look, it was not necessarily a point where I actually found a game that was expensive on a shelf or whatever, but I remember quite a few years back now, there was a lot of talk going around, like on the internet, on websites. There was articles about rare games and the expensive ones, and it was Earthbound on the, was it Super NES?
Oh yeah,
Earthbound.
Yeah,
that's
like
a
Super Nintendo game. Yeah.
Is it there?
It's $1,000 game.
Is that?
Yeah.
I thought.
Box more. Box it would be more. Box,
yeah.
Like completely boxed would be more. Cartridge it was probably like a little bit less, but yeah, box for sure.
But yeah, this game is just some sort of anomaly where I think I have read a little bit about it to the point where they say that it came out at the end of the life of the Super NES, and
It came out at the end. It was a
And
game
nobody bought it
that
because they thought it looked weird.
yeah,
it wasn't marketed. It wasn't marketed well, and it had this weird, unusual big box. So people looked at it, going, "What the hell's this crap?" And it was mainly released in America, wasn't it? And Americans just didn't get role-playing games at that time, and they just didn't market it right.
only 150,000 copies sold thereabouts, and so it's quite rare in the grand scheme of the things. And I think that was basically the concept behind it. There weren't many sold, so there's not many out there. It's rare.
But as Top Hat Gaming Man would point out, every time you go into a store in America, there's always one copy. So it's not that rare. They're around, but it's just that it happens to be that every store has at least one out the back or on display for a ridiculous amount. Top Loader, I know you're itching to answer this.
There was a specific time where I realized they weren't that expensive, but I realized, wow, these games are going to get expensive. And that's when I first bought Mega Man X. See, boxed. And in 2003, I bought it for 40 Australian dollars back then. And I thought to myself, $40 for an old game? That's like half the price of a brand new game. Are they out of their minds? And then I started doing more research at that time. I thought, wow, these Super Nintendo games, they're getting dear. If I want to buy these games, I better get in now to buy them. The Mega Drive games were still pretty reasonably priced. Even now, they're still pretty good priced. But the Super Nintendo games, because of that old cardboard box, see, at that point in time, they were going to go up. So luckily, I bought a lot of my bulk Super Nintendo games at that point in time before they went to this astronomical bullshit price that they're trying to sell them for now, because honestly, I can't buy as many Super Nintendo games obviously now because the prices are just blowing up for box games. Cartridges aren't too bad, but getting a box game is almost near ridiculous at this point. And I'm just glad that I had the foresight to see that these games were going to go up, and they did, like I was right back then. So I got the rarer games first, and then I got the more common games later on, so they didn't get as expensive either.
So my moment was when I had Phantasy Star 2 with the hint book. The hint guide came out because they realized that Westerners were not really savvy when it came to roleplay games. So the hint guide was virtually hold your hand and walk you right through the game book. And so I had that hint guide, but somehow, do you have the book that comes with it though?
I don't know.
No, you don't, because I don't. No, there was a book. There was a book that came with it. Yeah, and I had it, but then for some reason lost it in a move. So I thought, oh well, this is eBay thing. I'll just get on that and use that and find a copy. They were asking for $120 just for the guide, the book that came with the game. And that was the moment where I realized, oh man, this is going to happen, isn't it? All games are just going to go up. That was my penny drop moment. And that was back in 2002, 2003. eBay was still kind of new, but people were already catching on to the fact that people are willing.
It was more an auction site back then, whereas buy it now.
Yeah, you didn't really have buy it now. Yeah.
Oh,
they didn't have it. Yeah, it was actually more of an auction thing then, which is
well,
you get some good deals.
Yeah, sadly I had that guide, and had is the key word there, because I still don't have it now to this day. Unfortunately, lost it.
For you guys in Sydney, was it actually easier to buy retro gamings off eBay, or was there stores around that was actually selling like Mega Drive games? Because in Brisbane,
no, there was still a lot of stores around at that time. There was still a lot of stores.
It was.
Yeah, but
I could buy N64 games really easily because it was obviously still, almost in production at that point. But yeah, it was really hard for where I'm living to get like Mega Drive games and things like that.
Hope that answered your question there. We've got a couple more to get through. Callan from the Game Train has got a question. Okay, the question is actually aimed at Sega Master Tim. But I think we'll all have but we'll all have a dig at this one. So, question number 6. So, Callan, what have you got for us, matey?
Show. It's Callan from Game Train here. I had a question for Sega Master Tim. Can you please tell us about your favorite Sega game and why is it Bubsy? Cheers.
Wow, that was quick, Callan. You didn't mess around. We were getting into a little chat there, and then we looked up and there's a blank screen already. Tim, you got a lot of explaining to do, mate.
Why? Why do I like it?
Why do you like Bubsy so much?
Why do I like... Why is this a question directed at me? It should be directed at that guy.
That clown, he's saying.
I
Otherwise,
don't...
Right,
Why
because
do
it's
I like
Bubsy.
Bubsy? I don't like Bubsy.
Well, apparently the word is out that you do.
Why? Why do I like Bubsy? It's just another bloody play.
All right, disregard disregard the poor effort at a troll there from Callan. What is your favourite Sega game?
What is mine? My
You're the only one here called Tim.
We can ask other people. Was that a lane?
my game?
Wait, sorry, just one moment. We've just had G to the next level come in with a subscription. Thank you very much for that. And
I don't like Bubsy. God.
Do you want me to talk
in the
about
SNES,
Bubsy?
in the SNES box. That's what it
Bubsy's
is. Another
good.
cardboard
I
box.
enjoyed Bubsy.
It is good. It is
Bubsy
good.
got a
Thank you,
bad
Lucas.
rap.
Thank you.
So,
It was very bad.
so hang on. Your favourite Sega game is Golden Axe.
Axe.
Just the original.
OG, Golden Axe. Ain't it simple? Love
Geez,
it.
I tell you, that game did put the Mega Drive on the map. Like that was the game that made you realise, holy crap, those arcade games, you can play them in your home. That's awesome.
Yeah. No. I love playing it on the arcade, playing it on the Mega Drive. Such a good port. Such a good port. And even the cover art. Gotta love that cover art. It's beautiful. So, Golden Axe is my thing and not Bubsy.
Lucas, your favourite Sega game?
All right, while I actually do like Bubsy, it's not my favourite game, Sega game, but I would have to say Another World is probably my number one game. And I think that game was Uncharted before its time. It was a very, very well-made game. The animations were fantastic. There was things like traversal where you could like grab overhead and climb across and all that sort of stuff, and the running and the jumping. Awesome game.
You'd like Oddworld then too.
Oddworld?
Yeah, Oddworld's very similar. Yeah.
Too hard.
Too hard.
Like,
Oh,
what?
okay.
My son can speedrun that game. It cannot be too
No,
hard.
it's too hard because I get too bogged down trying to rescue all of the Madukan. What?
Hadouken. You know what? Okay, you know what you should do? Just play the new and tasty one. It's not as good, but you can save quick save it much easier. The saving system's much better, so you don't die as often. So that's probably the main.
Not a
problem.
Sega game. You're changing the topic.
Yeah, he's changing the topic. Another World's not a Sega game, but my favorite Sega game is actually Daytona.
It was on Mega Drive.
It was. Are we talking about Sega developed or on Sega?
I would say that it is, published.
Sega developed.
Sega published and developed. So,
Well, that would be Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
okay, no, fair enough answer.
Okay.
Bubsy's not a Sega game, so good try, Callan.
Nice troll, but you failed. Because
That's why I thought he meant just a game on a Sega.
Maybe.
I will say, if Bubsy was a Sega game, it would be my favorite Sega game. But it's not. It's an Acclaim game. Not Acclaim. I can't remember. Anyway,
No, it was Acclaim. It was Acclaim.
My favorite Sega game is actually it's Accolade. My favorite
you're right.
my favorite Sega game is actually Daytona. I can play that game over. It's only 3 tracks, and I can play it over and over and over again. They are the most addictive 3 tracks. If you sit in this, but you gotta sit in this seat. I got it on the PS3, like I was telling you guys before the show started. The joystick's pretty cool because you can use the gears for your top 4 buttons. You know, you can change up the gears. But obviously, sitting in that seat, there's nothing like it. Like, playing it in there just makes the experience much more better. Sega were the kings at putting you in the seat, like Afterburner, Sega.
Well, I was just going to say, I will see your Daytona and raise you either Afterburner, the arcade machine that spun you around, or G-Lock on the R360. There's never been an experience like.
I've never played G-Lock.
So G-Lock, I wish they did Afterburner in this damn thing. You know what an R360 is, right?
No.
Ah. Okay, so The Last Gamer not only has one of these, he has two. Of course.
What doesn't he have though? What doesn't he have?
This thing looks like something out of a science fiction movie. It is a round cabinet. So Afterburner, you sat in it and it only tilted left and right and went up and down, and that was it. So with R360, you span 360 degrees in any direction, and you needed the game needed a full-time attendant to stand by the machine at all times while it was running, because you needed to be seat belted up and to play it. And there's never been an experience like this in the arcades since. It's just never been replicated, and I don't know if gaming companies are just like, nah, we're not going to touch that because we'd get our asses sued.
Yeah, has it got anything to do with the amount of deaths that were involved in that?
No, I don't think anyone's died. I don't think anyone's actually died, but I'm sure there's been a few lost lunches. There is a video on YouTube of a kid going over and over again as he's spinning around.
At my arcade, they actually got a lot of these when you get into it, but it's more like you put on the 3D glasses type ones. There's a lot of them. Obviously, they're not as like movie.
Could you imagine R360 in virtual reality? You just vomit.
I've actually got a new Daytona at my arcade, like a remastered version of the old one. Like, it's slightly different, so I don't know if it's like called Daytona 3 or just a remaster. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know.
But anyway, I think that the R360 is where Sega peaked. That was just like their crowning, because they were always better at the arcade than they were at home. As much as I love the Sega home consoles, Sega were really the kings of the arcade, and no other company has really sort of touched on that since. So that for me is their crowning moment, was getting that R360 out, which only a handful of people got to play.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it?
So nice troll there, Callan. But anyway, the next one is
your troll failed.
Your troll failed. Uncle Chunt, what have you? Uncle Chunt, who is watching at the moment, has got a question for us. Take it away.
Hi, Uncle Chunt here. I'm submitting a question for Brian's Since Spacies Show. Now, everybody, just think about this. It's a really difficult question. Is there one game in particular when someone goes, I don't know what to play, I feel like playing something different that I'm not used to? Is there one game that you always have a go-to where you just like, yeah, you just bring it out real quick? Like you see that guy over there, I don't know what to play. Just like, blah, just blurt it out real quick. Mine would have to be Gears of War. Duh, no shit. That's my all go-to always. I've tried to think about it before I put this question together of like, what is my go-to? And that was the first thing that came to mind. So that one's going to have to be it. So I'm curious to know, like, say, pretend me, I'm just like, I don't know what to play, man. I'm just stuck in a rut. Can you suggest me a game? And I want everybody to suggest me a game. Yes. Do it. Do it now.
There you go.
We're not making fun of you.
Just looked like they're waiting for the question to be asked, and Lucas just crashed. Lucas.exe has failed. I'm going to go answer this one. Actually, no. I'll go to Top Loader. I need a little time on this one. I had an answer, but I've forgotten it now.
Are we talking now? Or we're waiting?
No, we're on. Oh my god.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure. You were talking, I wasn't sure if we're actually going. Okay, so Chunt, I'm going to talk to you, pal, because you said any question. Tell me what I want to play. I can't do the Chunt voice, I'm sorry. But
it's too booming for all of us.
I did just mention it before, but it was already in my mind that if you play the new and tasty Odd World, I think it's a very good game to play, because I know it is, because I introduced it to my son, And he saw me playing it, and he said, "Can I play that game with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, come play it with me." And he takes over the controller, and I tell you, if he can play through that whole game, and he has so much fun telling the Madookans what to do and fart, and even in the new one, you can make fart bombs, but they haven't re-released that game yet. But they're going to do a Soul Storm game, which is like a reimagining of Exodus. But right now we're playing New and Tasty all the way through on the PS4, which you can download, which is a great game to recommend if you haven't played it. It's better than the original because the saving is much better. You can quick save it and you can quick load it, unlike the original Oddworld where if you died, you had to go back to the start and re-save all the...
There's a mute option for this, isn't there?
So, my answer is...
Hang on, right click.
Oddworld games.
Mute. You can
He
mute.
might like
Right.
Stranger's Wrath. He might like Stranger's Wrath because it's a first-person shooter and it's a little bit different because you get the animals as your weapons. It's actually not a bad
He's still
game.
talking if you can't hear him.
No, I'm tempted to mute. Tim, have you got a go-to game to suggest? Oh, you got a little doggy in the background.
Oh, the puppy!
Look at the puppy.
Boy. I just saw Millie. Yeah.
Come back. There was a Millie appeared.
Wants to go for a
Oh.
walk. Millie, the sausage.
The sausage.
Go on now.
Yeah.
Sausage. Das Schwarzratten.
Oh, the onions on top.
Oh yeah. Now, if you're bored with a game, I think you need something that's got a game that has a lot going on at the one time. So, I think 2 games. I think Raiden would be a good one. Shoot 'em up.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one? Metal Slug. Any of the Metal Slugs would be good.
Heavy Machine Gun.
Yeah. If you're bored, it sounds like I don't think they want something slow, so I think you need a lot of stuff going on in the screen. So I think they're the 2 to go to. Yeah. Oh, what's this?
Can I say something controversial?
You always do.
It's your show.
Not this.
Oh, here we go, Paper Bar. You
Not
don't like
this.
it, do ya?
No, I'm not. I prefer the Wii U game. This one, they trying so hard to be different, and it made it a chore to play it. So
You know what my son likes doing in that game? Collecting the confetti, even though his bag's full. He actually just goes around collecting confetti.
yeah, I think this series has never gone back to its prime, which is Thousand Year Door. Can they just re-release that? You don't even have to develop a new game. Just re-release Thousand Year Door, so we don't have to pay $1,000 for it, which is the going
I own
price.
That game, but I've never finished it. I actually own Thousand Year Door, but I've never finished it.
I just sell it on eBay and buy something else with that money.
But I still like to keep it. It's still part of the collection. I don't sell things. I only let things get stolen by accident.
Lucas?
Well, look, it all depends on what you've got available to play on. But if somebody were to ask me, "Oh, what should I play?" I think it's a very underrated game. I know it does have a pretty big following. It's not that old. It's about 4 years old. But Dying Light. If you've never played Dying Light before,
it's a platform, right?
No, it's a open world zombie apocalypse game.
Way off. Okay.
Yeah, but that is a game. If you're quite partial to slaughtering zombies, yeah. Well, it makes killing people in mass genocide sort of acceptable. The fact that they're zombies, they're already dead. I guess that it's a technicality. You don't actually feel like a psychotic murderer, but it has the best parkour physics in any game that I've ever played before.
And zombie killing. Wow.
Yeah, so you can like run, jump, climb, go up buildings, jump and roll, and like land on zombies from the ceiling and from the rooftops, and like stab them with knives. There's localization for dismemberment, so you can chop heads off, arms off, legs off, hands, bodies, slice them in half. Brilliant.
The glint in your eye when you're saying that, it's a bit disturbing.
I promise I will only ever kill zombies if they turn into a thing. I may accidentally identify non-zombies as zombies, so I can kill them, but...
Well, recently I've looked like Death Warmed Up, so I'll keep away from you.
Oh my god, this is happening.
My suggestion for my go-to Xenoblade Chronicles, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand that, but the reason why I'm suggesting it is because the new Switch Definitive Edition or version, whatever they call it, is the first time that a lot of people would have access to be able to play this game. It's never really been open to the wider public, because when they released it on the Wii, it was released in such limited numbers that barely anyone got a chance to play it. Then they re-released it on the 3DS. Only if you had a new 3DS you could play it, and it looks pretty rubbish on a small screen that size anyway. Then they released it for the Wii U, and let's be honest, how many of you got a Wii U? I know you've got one, Lucas. I saw it in your cupboard last night.
My son still plays the Wii U.
I like the Wii U. I'm not bagging out on the Wii U, but I'm just saying that the general numbers, not many people got a chance to play it. So this is the first time that it's been available on a mass market. I'd like to see Xenoblade become, it will never become as popular as Final Fantasy, but I think it's deserving to be getting close to it because it is such a good role-play game, and the story arc in that game is awesome. The open world and the music, oh my god, the music in that first game is just one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. So that's my suggestion. Thank you, Uncle Chunt. I've got to be careful how I say that. Last question we got from the Pokemon thief himself, Retro Kaiser. This is question number. Yeah, this is the last question, guys. Take it away, Retro.
Me, Mario, and Luigi stole all of my teeth. You see, we were playing 2-player on Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the racing mode. And well, I kept on winning, and it caused Luigi to chuck such a fuss that he beat me up. Now, we've all played multiplayer games as kids, even as grown-ups with a family, friends, and probably got into an argument here and there. So my question is this. Now, what game did you play multiplayer that caused you to chuck such a wobbly with your friends, family, over? For example, if they kept winning, you kept on restarting the console. Or if you keep winning, they pull out the controller, etc., etc. Anyway, that is it from me. Mario out. Ah!
Retro Kaiser. Yeah, we need to talk. What is that thing that you're using it now? It's like Operation. I don't know.
There's so many questions, but like, what is it? Why did you use it?
Why is that a thing?
Why do you have it? Why?
I don't think I've ever had a video question from Retro Kaiser that's normal. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. I have a story. And if my brother's listening to this, I don't care. We're playing Halo 3, and it wasn't an online match. It was just it was online, but with party members. So me, him, and another guy, and we're playing on Lockout, I think is the name of the map. And he gets one kill, and that's it. And then I get the sword, and I go on a 24 kill rampage. Just no one can get me. And he was having massive dummy spits. If you don't drop the sword, I'm going to throw the controller. And he was just sulking so hard. and he did. He ended up just dropping the controller and walking away, getting the shits. And so, yeah, that was my little rage moment. So I wasn't the one that raged. I was the one that caused the rage. I don't rage quit. I get the shits. Obviously, if I'm playing a game and I'm getting beaten, say, in Rocket League 10-0, of course I'm going to get pissed off.
I like it.
But
throwing controllers, breaking.
I've only ever thrown one controller once, and that was on ET, an Atari 2600. Actually, no, it was the game itself. Flung it.
You wouldn't be able to break that controller, surely. They're like indestructible, aren't they?
Has anyone had a dummy spit moment or caused a dummy spit moment?
Oh yeah.
Well,
massive.
oh.
Just looking at the walls and in Lucas's room, I don't see any holes in there. No.
Because when I'm here, I throw this way. No, I've never damaged a wall or anything like that. But I have tested the durability of controllers by FIFA was a big one that used to really, it turned them into a neckcon.
You knew I was reaching for that.
Yeah. Bring it out at least once an episode.
Of course.
I should use that, but I end up twisting them, and the only one they ever actually broke twisting it was a 360 controller. But,
you broke a controller?
Yeah, by just gripping it.
No way.
Yeah. Like I cracked there was a crack all along the like the outside.
Hang on, let's get that goofy thing off. All right. These are, oh my god, coffee stains.
What was that? A little keyboard?
Yeah, I got a chat pad for it. These are not flimsy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it, your arms look small. When he did that, his arms look tiny. Okay. Has anyone else ever broke a? Actually, Sega Master Tim, I think you broke your arcade machine recently, didn't you?
Ooh,
I broke it.
Yeah, didn't you break an arcade?
No, the PSU went on it.
Oh, so it wasn't you smashing it because of Robotron?
No, Robotron. Robotron's bloody hard.
Yeah.
I think it's just not nowadays, but being a teenager, I think it was just like I got frustrated with a game. That would be about it. But I would never have a disagreement with somebody that I'm playing with. I've never done that. I'd get frustrated with playing Hero. I always remember that, playing Hero.
Oh, I loved Hero.
That was a great game.
Yeah. And you think, I'm hovering right into the lava.
I love the sound that used to do when you died. I just had to ban someone. Someone just got banned in the chat just then by spamming. Yeah.
You get better sound effects back. Then, I reckon. Like those little Pac-Man sounds and shit. They're so charming. Those sounds.
Yeah, exactly. But
I
never got angry.
Well, I've never rage quit on a game, but my friend used to annoy me playing Worms. He used to burrow himself deep into the map, where I could never get to him. And I'd always take it like bait and try to get to him, and always lose from it. And it used to frustrate the crap out of me.
I just gotta put a big thank you to G to the next level. Has just chimed in with 200 bits. Thank you very much. Thank you for your bits. Show us your bits. All right. Well, I think we've got through my return to Twitch after almost demising. Is that a word? Demising? Anyway, no.
Well, you're still here and kicking.
Yeah. It's just the whole thing. Watch the video before my last video where I talk about what I went through and how I ended up going to emergency. Watch that video because it gives you an idea of how it can just sneak up on you and you don't understand. I had no idea that it was a heart attack throughout the whole thing until I was at emergency. Brian, you are having a heart attack. Really? Is that what that is? Is that why my heart's doing that? I don't. So that was kind of my response. It was a little bit different, but do watch that video and get yourself, if you're over the age of 30, go get a blood test and go get yourself checked out, because I think myself as being young at 46 and getting a heart attack. I've heard of younger than me getting a heart attack. It's just not something you want to go through, and it's avoidable. So go get yourself checked out and go speak to your doctor and say, I would like to get my arteries looked at, because I believe heart attacks are on the rise. So, Lucas, what have you got? Anything planned? This is your chance to plug yourself.
Yeah, I do have a few things sort of cooking in the background, just waiting for some, I guess, partners to get everything together. But I've got a few more laptop reviews coming soon. I've got a new set of headphones that are coming from. Do you know the brand JBL?
Yes.
Well,
I can see it in the background.
We can see it there.
That's they're little tiny speakers, but they're actually moving into gaming now because JBL previously they just did speakers like home entertainment and things like that. But they're now doing a range of gaming headphones, and they're going to be sending out a set of their pretty much top tier headphones for me to do a review on. And just also a heads up, while these things, like that was unintentional, I had it there charging yesterday, and I put it there because I don't have any room on my desk.
Unintentional.
It was unintentional plug. But when I do get sent out these items for review, quite often I don't get to keep the item. Sometimes I do get to keep them, but it's just on loan, and they don't pay me. Essentially, what I get from them giving me these things is the ability to try it. So I don't have any reason to give any great praise. And I promise you that all of my videos, if I say it's good, I think it's good. And I have actually bagged out items before that.
So you're not a shill.
I will not make positive comments for the sake of getting these things for free or for getting them for loan. So I will be doing some reviews coming up, and there's some pretty cool products coming. But rest assured, you'll get an honest opinion. If it's shit, I will tell you.
And he knows shit.
I do.
It's either the shit or it's the shit.
Also, I just want to say, Ducks in Disguise, thank you for joining in. If anyone is not already following Ducks in Disguise, get on that. He has got some of the slickest graphics when it comes to showing off his weekly schedule. So go check out Ducks in Disguise. I'm sure he works in graphic artist as a graphic artist. If he's not, he should. Tim, have you got any? When are you getting to Twitch? I keep asking you, and I'm not going to stop.
Well, as I keep on saying, I don't have the time at the moment, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
but
sure.
I do consider, because it's coming up.
You got COVID. You can't go anywhere.
I know, yeah, but while I'm at home, I still have to work at home, you know. And when people become more unemployed, I get busier. That's the problem with my job. So yeah, just not enough time. But yeah, I will one day. But considering it's coming up to my birthday, I may purchase something to help me get to that point. So whether it be a camera or a capture card, God knows what it will be. So maybe one of those things. But I'm going to continue on with my game room showdowns that are posted every night. And I'd like to thank everyone who votes on them every night. We're almost at the end of the first round of the first 300 game rooms. So we should be starting the second round probably in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
There's something weird going on with your video at the moment, but we're hearing the audio at least, so he's stopping. And then he kicks. Yeah. Oh no, it's back again. Of course he is when he stops talking.
You gotta stop the talking there.
Well, that's rich coming from you, Top Loader. When are we going to see another video from you, mate?
Hey?
When are we going to see a video from you?
Well, I've been doing my PlayStation series on Twitter. If you've been tuning in every week, I've been putting out a new 2-minute 19 video. So I'm going to compile all of them because we're almost done. And I'm going to put them onto YouTube in the next couple of weeks because it's going to be about 40-minute video. I do it for my weekly Follow Friday and people seem to like them. So I thought I'll just compile them all together and put them all out as one big file for everybody to watch. And I'm also still working on my Steel Games video, which is taking forever, but it's coming out really well, and I'm not going to complain how long it's taking because when it comes up that good, I can't complain about that.
Are you waiting on me for something on that?
No. Oh, I was, but then your dad had a heart attack last year.
My life just went to shit for a bit.
I didn't want to ask because was just like, oh, he's going through a few things. I was going to get you to do a cameo, but because I know how much you love sealed games, but it was been too much because like you're going through things. At that time, your dad had a heart attack, and I'm like, I'm not going to really push the, asking for things at that point, so I just left it.
Well, I'm back, so I'm not going to be going anywhere, and I'm amazed at how well I'm handling this. At no point have I had any issues with the chest or with the heart, so I'm back. So glad that you guys could join in. Thank you to everyone that was in on the chat. Sorry if you joined in a little bit late, but this will be on YouTube a little later. I think we'll leave it at that. My name has been Brian, and I've been gaming since Spacies. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Since Spacies.
It's like the end of it.
Do we have to do the complimentary wave?
No, that was a start of the century. Keep waving. Keep waving.
Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah. I'm going to just... Bye, guys. I'm just going to keep him waving.
Yeah.